Welcome to the Common Room Live!
That's right, we're live and we are kicking because this is very hard to get on top of all this sound equipment that we're suddenly thrown into midst of.
Yeah, we have literally learnt this ourselves. If you don't know us, my name is Brayden and I am your host today and joined by my great co-host who is always...
Ashleigh McFadden!
Ashleigh, I am proud of ourselves because we have just spent the last 45 minutes getting this thing to work and record at the same time. We can get it live, working fine, but no, recording it was a little bit much for this system.
It's too much, it's all too much. Oh, my head hurts and we haven't even started.
And we have to make sure we actually put the music down as well a bit more. So there's probably some music playing behind there. It's all a learning experience, which is really what uni should be about.
Yes, it should.
Ash, how was your week? That has been.
Well, what a week of news. It has been nothing but Donald Trump, Biden, election results coming in. I'm frankly sick of it. I'm really sick of it.
I wonder how other people have been. Because, I mean, they've been doing this for over a year. It's a long time.
Imagine being in the US and this is affecting your whole future and constantly barraged by, will it be Trump? Will it be Biden? Will it be Trump? Will it be Biden? And of course, we've got the results now. Finally, after however many days it was, what was it, Nevada counting?
It wasn't just them counting. Pennsylvania changed as well. And then, look, it depends. You could look at it and say, we don't know the winner.
Yes, I guess you're right. Old Father Time might play a hand before January when he actually gets sworn in.
I must admit, I think he's won though. I mean, everything there. I haven't seen much evidence to say that it hasn't won. That the illegal counting. There's been not a whole lot reported on that.
In classic Trump styling, he's accused of everyone he can point his finger at of illegal counting, and well, we'll see what happens because they do have a few months before Biden is officially sworn in, and that's for the states to go over any disputes in the counting, and I don't think they've ever had so many disputes thrown at them by the ex-president.
I mean, I'll say one thing. I don't think we've ever had an election probably this controversial in a while, or this when's the last time something this close even?
Not in my lifetime. I can't think of any elections that have been this fierce.
Tell you what, I mean, it just needed a bit of a sports track behind it, and you would have had some commentators behind it. You know, it was like last quarter sort of style. 10 seconds left at some of those places.
Yeah, it's
and the swings from Biden to Donald. I mean, it was great. It's great TV.
I haven't seen old people fighting like this since the lockdown started, and they wanted to get some toilet paper.
Yeah, quite amazing stuff. It must be said, I think it was an interesting election just because we had two very different people going at it.
Oh, so different.
I mean, we had the charisma of Trump, and then Biden was just going, well, this has happened. He was reacting from it. It was such an interesting... I had my doubts that Biden would be able to come over Trump because Trump is a mighty character. He is a big character to overcome. But it could also be argued that's his downfall.
But we have had record numbers in the US of people
coming out to
vote.
That's what I thought was interesting too.
There's more people out to vote in this election than there was for Obama, for any point in history you care to name. Lincoln, yeah. Washington. Well, there was only 5 people around at that time anyway. But more people voted for them.
Yeah, it's crazy. It blows your mind thinking about this election. And it's been interesting what will now be the response by Australians from this, which has been, I think it's fair to say it's been a fairly positive response, but I'm interested in how the next 4 years are going to go working with Biden in this. Because if I remember, he is the oldest president that's ever been voted into office as well.
That's correct. Only 4 years older than Trump, though.
Yeah,
so that goes to show the demographic.
Yeah, it's really interesting, this, but it's been good television. That's the only way I can describe it. Just all the major networks follow it, especially on voting day. That was mental.
Oh, the 24-hour news. Oh, wasn't that painful to sit through? Oh, we've got some more votes this way. We've got more votes this way. Then the postal votes come in, and it's like, okay, I think Biden's got this now. I
found it interesting that some people couldn't accept, Trump was leading, and then they were just like, oh, but the postal votes came. That's a bit dodgy, and now Biden's in front. Yeah, that's how counting works.
Yeah, that's how counting the election results work. Some of them will be for one party, some of them will be for the other party, and then at the end you'll know which one wins. And people are still shocked by this crazy system.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting way of for doing it. You know what I mean? An interesting argument, I should say, of why this is a bit dodgy. I'm like, surely there's other ways that you could argue. Like, weird. All these votes came in and Biden's front. Man, I think something's...
What do you think Trump will be up to in his last... It's in January that he's officially booted out the White House and Biden moves in. What do you think he's going to do with his remaining time as presidency?
That's a good question. I mean, we've been getting some tweets. I mean, the thing is, I think he's going to fight this legal case. If he does go through with them, and there's been stories about that he's actually going to get rallies to support the law case. We're going... I mean, credit to some of the people that have come out. Even Mitt Romney, who is a Republican who ran against Obama, was one of the first people to come out and congratulate Biden on the win. So this goes for both sides of politics. Can we just get on with it? Once the results are, can we just get on with it and congratulate them, move on? You know, we've had stories like this. Like George Bush Sr., when he was out of office, he left a little note for the next one coming in, basically saying it's a hard job. You know, there's some... It's not sportsmanship, but it's humility. You know what I mean?
Did you hear the stories about when Trump first got into the White House? Basically, his policy was, I don't want to hear anything about the last administration. I don't want any of those people around telling me how to show me how to do things. Yeah. And for weeks, he didn't know how to turn the lights on in his press room because no one had shown him how. So all the first press shots in their press room are just dark and really bad lighting quality because he didn't ask where's the light switch.
Yeah, there is a stubbornness in that, isn't there? I think that's fair to say. And I mean that's what I want to bring into this topic. When's there been a situation in your life where you just couldn't accept something? You couldn't accept losing, or you couldn't be... I mean, I've been in those situations. I can tell you right, when I watched the SANFL Grand Final between Port Magpies and Sturt, where we think I lost by a point or 2 points, even though I had seen it live, I've heard the siren go, it was very hard to accept that. I just ran out of that stadium. I'm just like, nah, that didn't just happen.
That wasn't...
It took some time, but I processed it.
I think I've had some breakups where I've decided, no, I'm not taking that result. We'll keep going. And it's just been denial for the next 6 months until, I'm not going out with you anymore, Ashleigh. Tear.
Yeah, well, so it's an interesting one, this one. I genuinely wonder... I have a feeling that there will eventually, and I mean eventually, there'll be an acceptance like, okay, we've lost that, you know.
What, from Trump?
I think more the Trump party more than probably Trump, it's fair to say.
I feel like he'll be in a nursing home somewhere and still going, I'm still president.
I mean, look, he's within his legal rights to challenge it. There's no doubt about that. But it's such an extreme step.
Everything Trump does, he does to the extreme.
I mean, it really topped off 2020 for me. It really did. We should have guessed this, that something was going to happen. That summed up 2020 me almost perfectly.
An angry old man not accepting the way things are. Perfectly sums up 2020 to you.
Well, yeah, the human race doesn't do well with change, does it?
No, well, not all humans. I'd say one particular human doesn't do well with change, and that is Trump. And I'm talking about change in both...
In your opinion.
In both senses, because he's gone bankrupt 4 times as well.
Yeah, that will be interesting. There's a lot of stories now that there's actually going to be a lot of law cases come for him because he's no longer in office.
Well, they all have to wait until he's outside of presidency, because what he can do as president is he can pardon himself. Yeah. It's very likely he's going to pardon a lot of his family from alleged crimes that might be against them.
Tell you
embezzlement chargements and fraud and...
I think some good investigative journalism is going to come out soon after this.
Well, I hope so. I hope they're not all scared off by Trump's teams of lawyers.
And it's just not Biden. We've got to talk about Kamala Harris as well. First black woman to be vice president. This is a momentous occasion for her, and I thought her speech was quite inspiring as well.
It's surprising that this is the first black woman as vice president. It's been how many years? I'm always surprised by these sort of facts when you hear.
It's
like,
always
this is
interesting
the
looking at the stats, yeah.
Like your first woman in parliament, and you realise how late in history it actually is. First black person to be president. Oh, it's not until like 2008, wasn't it, that he got sworn in?
Yeah, I think it was 2008.
Yeah, so late in history when you look at like the whole of history.
But I guess that's the thing, as it comes back to that part where people find it hard to accept change, no matter what it is. You know what I mean? So we relate back to that. I mean, look at the referendums that we've had in Australia's history. It does blow your mind sometimes at how long some of those have taken, you know?
Yeah.
It is interesting, and I'm just interested in the next 4 years. It's been interesting hearing a lot of the Democrat supporters I know, for example. They've been saying, well, we're actually hoping that Kamala Harris will take Joe Biden's job one day. We actually prefer Harris over Biden any day. So that's going to be an interesting infight as well, you know. It comes down to politics. It always comes down to infighting, doesn't it?
Constantly. Maybe they can do the thing that Australia does, just swap out the person every couple of months. give someone else a turn.
I don't think we're far off of that after hearing the news today about another ALP minister standing down for the front bench. I've got a bit of a theory on that. I'm not going to broadcast it because I've just got a bit of an idea, but I want to flesh it out first. But let's see what happens. But keep an eye on that. I would be really interested to see who would be the Labor leader going into the next election or the one after. I think that would be very interesting to keep an eye on. But anyway, well, you are listening to the Common Room live, and we're about to play a song, and hopefully I get this right, Ashleigh, because the last time that we did, if you didn't listen live last time, I think I called out 3 songs were completely incorrect.
Completely. We don't even know what they were or where they came from.
Yeah,
so good luck.
Let's see if I get this right, and we will see you after a music break.
See you on the other side.